7 foot tall. He's pretty good. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well. How we doing? Everybody rocking and rolling? How you doing, buddy?
Coach, is going to be a lot of talk about P.J. Haggerty today. Just kind of give us the cliff notes about your new guard.
I think P.J. Haggerty is the best point guard in America, and he's learning to be a great leader. This year he's required to be more of a leader than he's had to be before. Every place else, they just want him to score buckets. Not that it's a bad thing, because he does that really well. But we need a little bit more from him because we want to accomplish something greater. And he's embraced it and just diving into that role every single day. And you just see growth every single day.
How does PJ fit into the flow of what you want to do offensively?
Well, I like guards who can score, and they put pressure on the defense, and man, he can do that, but he's a terrific passer. Like, he's a willing passer, and a way better ball screen reader. I thought, but he was never required to do that before, and so he is capable of making reads in the ball screen and getting other guys involved. But, the shot clock, 20 times a game, you're going to be in a situation where the shot clock is running down, and that dude can create space and get a shot, or he can get fouled and go to the free throw line.
Coach, what kind of person were you looking for in the transfer portal? Not just player, but person.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We wanted to find players that had some maturity to them, and what I mean by that is, I use this. We want guys who make their beds every morning, right? They have a routine. And if you ask them about their routine, they can tell you what time they get up, what they do, how they go, but when they get their shots up, what their recovery process. They can tell you about when they eat and what time they sleep. But guys who had some professionalism to them because there's something that someplace they wanted to get to. And I found last year that guys who lacked that, it caused me a frustration. And so in this process, they're great guys, last year, great guys. They just didn't have a routine to their life. And so purposely looking for guys who had a routine to their lives was a part of our,
Coach,
evaluation.
With the new guys that you got, this happens during the portal era. You probably got, 6 or 7 guys that were the best player on their team last year. In this new era, how have you learned to get that to mesh together?
Yeah, well, we find guys who want to win, and when the first thing they want to talk about is winning, those are my kind of guys. And then in evaluating them through the different avenues, you just find out that their teammates like them. So guys who want to win and guys whose teammates like them, that goes a long way, because in our environment, you can't. You're gonna know you're loved, right? You're gonna know we're gonna connect with your heart. Our goal is to win their heart and then win the day, and we do a great job of that as a staff. And because of that, they buy in more to what we want to do, and we're willing to coach them. Well, we're allowed to coach them a little bit harder.
Coach, what is one lesson that you've learned from last year that's driving your approach this season?
Yeah, that expectation without grace leads to disappointment and frustration. And I learned that I've got to extend grace. That just because these guys are making money, it doesn't make them adults. And I've got to extend grace that they're 18 to 23-year-olds and they're going to make mistakes, or they're going to have shortcomings, and I got to help them grow in that and not be frustrated by those things.
What are you looking for from Moby Kegaruke this year as far as his growth as a player?
Yeah, his conditioning to improve so that he can be on the court longer, and just a more focused approach to developing the skill level that he needs in order to be impactful.
Why is that being the best shooter in America?
Because when he shoots it, it goes in. The results, right? Last year he made 128 threes. The guy who ended up making the most in a year played 6 more games than he did in the postseason. His work ethic, I walk in the gym in the morning, he's already in there getting up shots, working on it, like he's back in the evening. And I've coached some really good shooters, and the way the ball comes off his hands and the confidence that he has in it, it goes a long way.
Is he just a shooter?
No, he's not just a shooter, but to win, you need guys to buy into doing what they do special. And he does that very, very special.
Coach, you talk about buy-in. With so much turnover, in college basketball, not only your program, but just across the league. How do you keep that consistency?
Well, I'm hoping the time that we spend with them away from basketball and the efforts we put into building relationships with them, as a person, not just as a coach player, that they see that we have a bigger picture for their life than just winning basketball games, and allows them to open their hearts to us and embrace what we're about.
PJ had mentioned that team camp at Baylor, 8th grade, when you met him. Can you take me back to that moment and just what you saw in him at that stage of his life?
Yeah, what I remember about PJ is when I met him, that he was a little shy, kind of, and when he shook my hand, it was a terrible handshake, and he didn't look me in the eyes. And I stopped him and I said, "Hey, look me in the eyes and squeeze my hand. And this is how you introduce yourself." And his mom remembered that, but I followed him from 8th, 9th. He was always a bucket getter. He could always score, and recruited him to Baylor, but we don't want him to redshirt, because of the guards we had there, and he didn't want a redshirt. So luckily, things played out and went along, and I get this opportunity to coach him now.
How tough is it for coaches? I mean, the media the last couple of years has anointed Kansas the national champion before the season starts without seeing them play together, and coaches have talked about how difficult it is. How tough is the last 3 or 4 years of being coaching at the Division I level been?
Listen, man, I spent 19 years wanting to be a head coach, and then God blessed me with this opportunity. So I don't care what they throw at me. I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna embrace it. I feel like I'm built for this. The change doesn't bother me. Do I wish it could be different, or I wish we could quickly get to where we need to get to? Sure, you like that, but I'm not going to sit around and pout about this thing. I get to coach basketball in the best conference in America, one of the best schools, with the best fan base. I mean, there's no complaint on my side.
What do you want to see out of your team Friday with the scrimmage against Missouri?
Just watching them hit somebody else, and because when you're every day at practice, K-State wins and K-State loses, right? So if the offense is good, our defense sucked. If the defense was good, our offense sucks, right? If our defensive rebounding was good, we're not going to the glass hard enough. If our offensive rebound is good, man, we don't block out a soul, right? So just looking forward to them going against somebody else and then coming away and saying, okay, what do we need to focus in on to help us get 1% better the next day.
What's impressed you the most about Andre?
His ability to improve within practice. Some guys, they start off bad and they just gonna have a bad day, and maybe they'll come back the next day and get better. Andre can start off bad in practice or have things go wrong, and then he stays grinding and end up turning it into a good practice by the end. And so that lets me know he can start off playing bad in a game and he can flip it at halftime. I don't have to wait till the next game. It's not Andre's done for this game. He can turn it around within a game.
With the European players, what's the biggest difference maybe you notice in how they prepare, how they practice, given that they have professional experience overseas?
Most of them have a routine, or they've been around guys who have a routine, older guys, and so that helps them. But what I found lacking is that, the emphasis on the defensive end, because they play so many possessions in a 24-second shot clock, and then when on the offensive rebound, it resets to 13. So they play so many possessions that they don't value every possession the way you have to in the Big 12. Every possession matters. Well, I tried that Mark last year, and he wanted to. He didn't want to go to class. Coach, I don't know if I want to go to class and do schoolwork, be a GA, right? Because you got to go to class. And then after he went into the workforce, he decided, man, I don't want to be in the workforce. I want to get back to that. That was the process of it. But having someone who's so close to the guys age-wise, and just recently experienced winning the Big 12 championship and the national championship, and now he sees it differently, right? Like, Coach was, what this stuff they were asking me to do or on me about really made sense. And so sometimes the players that are in the fire, they can't see the sense of it. And to have someone who's been there say, man, just trust him. I'm telling you, this works. Or he can look him in the eye and say, man, you're not doing what you need to do. Coach is right. It goes a long way. And those guys listen to him, man. It's so, our GAs are incredible, the group we have. Incredible group of GAs.
Coach, last year there was some adversity, and you made some comments to the students like you need their support. How do you get their support and get them excited about this new season, new players, new team, just starting fresh?
Yeah, let me tell you something about K-State, right? Our students are resilient, and they're loyal, and they're passionate, right? And so, I love their passion, because if you want the passion when you're winning, right, you got to embrace the passion when you're losing, right? Because they're upset if we're not winning, and I'm all right with that. And our staff and our guys have done a great job of going to all the fraternities and sororities and different groups on campus, and getting to know them and spending time with them. And I believe that our students are going to show up and show out, and the group that's going to be on the floor is going to excite them even more.
On Friday, are you going to play like a normal game, or do you have a script of guys you want to see, like substitution-wise?
Yeah, we're debating that. We haven't finalized it yet, and so there, I wish we could play 12-minute quarters, and so more guys get more time to play and stuff. But it's going to be on TV, so we're limited by that, and so we're still trying to figure out what's going to be the best for us.
Coach, how would you compare the depth of this team compared to the last 3 years?
Well, our 6 guards are really good. So I have more depth at guard spot, and then our forwards, they're coming along. They're solid, but once again, they're going against each other. So I might think I got 12 who can play, and we go out there against Missouri and find out there's only 6. I doubt it, but. So I'm not trying to put anything in a box right now. I like the group though.
How's the lack of size in the front court going to change what you guys do this year?
The what?
The lack of height.
We're 7'2", 6'11", 6'9", 6'9", and Moby's 6'7", but he plays like he's 6'10". I don't know that we lack size.
Well, with Osei out, there's only one guy traditional big.
We'll see if Osei's out or not.
Coach, there's been some news about kids going to the G League, then coming back into NCAA. Some of the coaches are talking about it. Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I'm trying to flip the rock on every one of them, right? And, we've got a guy in our team, Elias, he played in Euro basketball, right? What's the difference between that and the G League? And in fact, the other day I got a call about a kid who had played 6 NBA games. And so, right now, anything's so why not? I'm not closing the door on any of them.
I wonder if LeBron ever wanted to go to college.
How does Coach Winchester kind of embrace that?
How is the overseas stuff? Well, Dub played overseas for a long time and has a lot of relationships, so that definitely helps with that. And having spent time over there, he's comfortable going over and doing some recruiting and building relationships. So that's been great.
What have you learned about your staff and yourself through the last 2 years, maybe not going the way that you anticipated?
Yeah, that you always have to be evaluating yourself. I evaluated myself last year, even during the season, and said, what am I lacking? Where am I weak? Where do I need help? And we pinpointed some areas, and then I was blessed to be able to have, Bill Peterson and Matt Driscoll come on staff, and they fill voids that I'm unable to fill. I love player development. I love being out on the floor. One of the best things I did at Baylor, helping guys get better, but as a head coach, I don't get to do that as much. And so you got to have someone who does that. I'm very, very passionate about defense. I think I can teach it as well as anybody in the country and make it simple. But it's not as easy for me on the offensive end, so I had to find someone. I had to convince Matt Driscoll to leave being a head coach at North Florida, where he just gotten an extension, and come, do that, be that for me. And he says simple is sophisticated all the time, and he has a great way of teaching the guys on the offensive end. He's passionate about it, and so it adds the balance to it. But with this new day and age of college basketball, and you're having a new team almost every year, that you got to have people around you who can do those things and in a simple way, and teach guys in a simple way.
How you doing, man? Take care. I'm not going to see you. So ask him a lot of hard questions, all right? But give him the tough stuff.
He's the best.
You going to be Baylor this year?
Bro, we got Missouri this weekend. That's all I'm focused on.
Coach, we talked so much about NIL around this program and just kind of the complications that come with that. How have you seen this group just kind of embrace that so far?
We hadn't paid attention to it. And, y'all the only ones that ask about NIL. So, it's really our staff. We don't talk about it. The players, they don't come to me about it. That stuff was done before they got here, and now this is about basketball and winning. And kids want to know two things. How can I get better, and how can I get more minutes, right? And that's what we're doing.
Xavier coming in as a true freshman, how's his maturity level right now?
He's growing. He's trying. It's just, like I said multiple times, like he's drinking out of a fire hose. There's a lot coming at him at one time. And man, every day he's lined up against, the best point guard in America, or being guarded by, defensive player of the year in the MAC last year, so there's a lot coming at him. But man, he's tough, he's competitive, he's fast, and he's fearless. And I love those things about him.
Anything else for Coach? Okay, we'll get the guys up here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.